Hey everyone, here with the next entry in my Learn to NSMBU series. This is, I guess you'd call it advanced shell jumps. They're not really advanced. Some of them are going to be really hard, some are not. It's more, these are shell jumps that only work in NSMBU. Although now, some of these may be in 3D World as well. Like I said, I'm not super knowledgeable with 3D World, but I'm sure some of these are. But yeah, so if you didn't see the original video, it's just about basic shell jumps. You're definitely going to need to know about that to be able to do this, because, you know, this is going to require shell jumps just in a much more complex way. Anyway, as usual, same format, 7 rooms. Let's see what we got. Okay. This first room, we got a big open area. If you recall, these curved rails are twirl indicators, if you don't remember. But yeah, this is a pretty decently common trick, especially in speedrun levels. I'm aware that there's cheese. I mean, it's really hard to de-cheese this stuff while also not killing the player for messing it up. So I can de-cheese it easy by, if you don't do it the way I say, you die, but it's not the goal of this. Also, I guess you die if this happens. Anyway, what you want to do here is slide along the wall, and then when you're just in line with the shell, you'll kick it, and right when you kick it, wall jump. And it's kind of like, I don't know if this really has a name, but let me just show you what it looks like. So you slide on the wall, kick it, and then you can shell jump off it. I don't believe... Yeah, you can't just make it across this gap. So yeah, you could cheese, wait on the Koopa to wake up. This is trying to teach stuff, so... Anyway, that's all you do, is you just slide on the wall, touch the shell, and then you have to twirl to make it across the gaps. But anyway, if you twirl too long, typically this shell would be on spikes, so you would like hit like that and you die. It's not very hard. So just as soon as you hear him kick the shell, ball jump, and there you go. Okay, this next one is very important. This is just an extremely useful skill to have for NSMBU stuff. So, if you remember in the shell jump level, I talked about the timing to release a shell, like, you know, right at the peak of your jump basically, although you have to release it a little earlier in Mario Maker 2. So if you try to just do a plain old shell jump here, you'll notice that indicator is pretty far away. You'll miss the shell jump. Okay, like this. Not quite enough, and you're like, well, how do I do it? I can't midair. And the idea is, so if you throw the shell too late, it goes above you like this. And, you know, you're like, okay, that's useless, it's just, nothing happens. But you can twirl to slow your fall. So what if you throw the shell late, and then twirl to slow your fall, and then you can line up with it anyway, and it would look like this. And then you do get enough height now. Why is that important? Well, it let me make this really big gap, which, yeah, that's important for this setup, but what if you're doing a plain old shell jump and you're like, oh, I released it too late, you know, kind of like this. And the shell would hit you and you die or take damage, whatever. Well, what you can do is kind of correct your shell jump. Let's say you throw it slightly late like this. You can twirl it the last second to, you know, correct the shell jump. It doesn't help you if you throw it too early, but if you throw it too late, you can twirl, and if you've watched me play, you probably see me do this a lot, especially on like harder NSMBU levels, so it's definitely something that's just invaluable to do, especially for NSMBU Kaizo. But this room, it's kind of set up for you. Just throw it at the indicator, twirl at the indicator, and it should let you up. Well, if I would have held the jump button, it would have. Also, yep, you mess up, the piggy's gonna let you know about it. There we go. So yeah, keep that in mind. That is extremely useful. I believe you can also do it in 3D World, since the twirl is similar in that. Okay. This room's kind of funny to me, because this is something you'd be like, that's not NSMBU exclusive, but if you aren't aware, you cannot spin and grab items in SMW. Like, there's no way to do it, so this is actually an NSMBU exclusive trick, a classic spin drop. Now, this one, the way I set it up is a little challenging, but you could practice with just something like this, put a Goomba against a wall, or something like that, and do it this way. So basically, it's the same timing as a shell jump, except when you throw an item, there's a 5-frame delay in Mario Maker 2. When you drop it, there's not, so it's the same as Mario Maker 1. So it's just a little bit later, around 5 frames later, than you would if you were throwing it, but you just spin and spin drop like that. But the one here in particular is a little bit more challenging, because there's no wall to line it up for you. So if you just did this, you know, it wouldn't bounce off it, it would be behind you. Well, actually you could if you were moving slow enough. Also, let me delete this. Let me try to illustrate what I mean. But yeah, if you have high speed and you like do this, you know, it just goes behind you. So you'll need to correct it a bit. So you want to spin jump and kinda, you know, get yourself to almost no speed. Just slow down in the air, and then you can spin drop like that, and get up to where you need to go. But yeah, it's not too hard. The correcting your speed part, definitely the hardest part of it. Okay, so this room, a little bit harder. There's nothing to bounce off of here. I mean, you could try doing this, but that's not gonna work. So what you do here is, if you don't know, in NSMBU, you can spin while holding an item. In Mario World, at least in Mario Maker 1, you had to like throw it and then spin and catch it in the air. If you're holding it, it won't let you spin jump, but in New Soup you can. So basically what this is a shell drop, just with a much smaller jump and from the ground. And the timing's kind of tight, but it's still the same thing at the top of the jump. It's just the top of your jump is much lower. Like, we're not bouncing like this, which is like that. So basically, oh yeah, and you can't do it standing still, because if you did that, this would happen. He would drop it in front. So you kind of need to, you know, correct your speed, get yourself kind of moving, but then pull back to, if that makes sense. Basically, so if you're stopped and drop something, it does this, and if you're moving away and drop it, it does that. But if you're moving towards it, you know, it kind of, he always drops it in front of him, basically. So you kind of want to turn, like, so let's say you drop it to the, like, going like this, so that it goes under you, and then you turn back the other way. So it's kind of like, you know, you move to the right, but then you pull back left. I don't know if that makes sense. But the timing's a little weird. This one can be hard, but it's basically like this as I mess it up. Like this. That was too late. There we go. Yeah, not sure if that made sense. It's kind of hard to explain. I just know how to do it. But basically the movement is you move to the right, and then when you drop it, you pull back left. Or if you're going the other way, you move to the left, drop it, pull back right. And it should line up for you. The timing to land the actual shell drop it's pretty tight, but it's not too bad. It's definitely going to feel weird if you've never done that. Okay, this next one, oh, by the way, this is a reset pipe. Okay, this one is a shell wall jump into shell jump. So if you remember from my wall jump tutorial, you can shell wall carry. This one's pretty free. I set it up for you. You just drop it and then wall jump. And if you don't know, you can shell jump off of that. Very common in like high level NSMBU tech, but they wouldn't set it up for you like this. It would probably be more like this. Probably kind of like that. But anyway, this one, the shell wall jump itself is set up. So it's just drop it, do a wall jump, and then shell jump. Now, when you do a wall jump, you may be used to doing a shell jump off the ground, like, I don't know, like that or something. The wall jump timing's a bit different, because you don't gain that much height from a wall jump. So basically, you may mess this up a few times. Also remember, if you throw it too late, you can always twirl it the last second to recover, kind of like this. Well, if I wasn't bad. But yeah, the timing's really early on it. Yeah, so you can correct it. That shell probably would have collided with me. But anyway, just throw it at the indicator. It's a pretty early throw, so should be good to go. And I'm explaining things like a little less in this, I guess, because this is kind of an advanced level. I expect this to be in super expert. Anyway, this next room is definitely the hardest trick, and I feel kind of bad because I could not find a way to both de-cheese it and keep the player from dying, so I couldn't give you a mushroom. It became way too hard. I couldn't give you a helmet because this trick doesn't work. So basically, if you've ever seen a spring drop, which I'll have a spring level in the future, it's basically the player drops it, they ground pound, and then they bounce off the spring. This is kind of similar. So you see here, you have to get over on these clouds. There's a drop indicator there. Also, these down up arrows means ground pound, but can't wall jump here because you'll die. I don't believe you could make this. If you can make that jump, then that's a tough jump. Well, I just made it anyway. There you go. If you want to cheese it, you can do that. But here's the idea. You drop the shell, it'll be a little bit behind you, but it'll have rightward momentum, so you'll kind of be falling with it. And then you do a ground pound, which stops your horizontal speed. The shell will collide with you, it'll go backwards, and then you can bounce off it. It'll look like this. It's pretty cool, actually. Like I said, you may be like, why do I need to do that? Well, in the real level, you would die if you didn't do it exactly like this, but timing's not too strict. The issue you may run into is like that. You did the ground pound too far to the right, or you did it too early or something. But I tried my best not to kill the player. But like I said, I couldn't find a way to de-cheese it, although you saw me cheese it earlier with a very tight jump. But yeah, the indicators are lined up pretty well. Just drop it at the indicator, ground pound at the indicator, and bounce to the right. And it should work out. That's definitely the hardest part of the level, so let me know if you have any issues. And finally, we have a triple jump shell jump, which is actually exclusive to NSMBU, by the way. The shell spawns like that, so I put a reset pipe. If you somehow aren't aware, triple jump gives you one extra block of height. So the shell jump timing will be kind of weird. So if you just do a regular old jump, you're not going to make it. Although, you may be able to cheese this, if it's even cheese, by throwing it late and twirling like the other room. It would be pretty tight. You may be able to make that. Oh, you can, so there you go. You can cheese it like that. You're starting to see how versatile NSMBU is. It's so hard to de-cheese stuff. I could do it easy by just, if you don't do it my way, you die, but it's trying to be a tutorial level. But yeah, there's so many cool things you can do. But yeah, this is a triple jump, shell jump, so you will gain an extra block of height, just jump at the ice blocks. I should probably put the triple jump indicator here. The old ow ow ooh. Almost forgot, that would have sucked. Alright. Anyway, finally, this is what this looks like. Use triple jump. Throw the shell. See, I had to twirl there to correct it. It would have hit me. I threw it too late. It's kind of tight actually. Just try to make sure you do an edge jump. Not like a perfect edge jump, just don't jump from the left. But yeah, this is fairly common, I guess, but the main thing that trips people up, it's the exact same as the shell jump, just you have to release it later than you're used to. But yeah, those are 7 NSMBU exclusive tricks. I put in a little extra one that's... I couldn't really think of anything unique, so it's kind of a just more difficult version of Room 2 at the end if you want some 1-ups. Also, I warn you, you know, like this is scary. You could die here, key death. But yeah, so this one, it's a much bigger shell jump. So there's probably a couple ways you could do it, I don't know, but the way I like is twirl here, throw, the shell will be way above your head, and then twirl, twirl, and you should make it. So it would look like this.
Here we go.
So there's an issue. What you saw there, you may have heard him twirl, but nothing happened. That's because when you throw stuff, it kind of eats your twirl, essentially. Like, it does it, it just doesn't do anything to slow your fall. So you have to wait a little bit to twirl. I didn't wait long enough. There you go. And that's it. Only thing left to do now is upload it. Let's do it. Okay, that was literally first try. Cool. Pretty solid upload time. I can't wait for Amelia to beat it. Alrighty. Easy. Okay. That is the upload of this. This is definitely going to end up in Super Expert.
I'm a winner.
If this one's too hard, don't feel bad, I guess. I mean, all these, well, some of them aren't that bad. Like, Room 1's not too hard. But anyway, all these tricks, they are difficult. I don't know. Just, it takes practice. I hope I explained it well enough to where you at least understand it. But, yeah. Alright, there's the level code SX80NPM3G. Get out there and beat that level. I know you can do it. Alright, well, that wraps this up. Thank you guys for watching, whether you watched it to try to figure out how to beat the level or just interested or something. I don't know. But, yeah. The next one, I think, may be on springs, although it may be hard to figure out 7 tricks with springs, but we'll see. Anyway, see you guys later.